been asked about the human flag. Now, I currently haven't been training the human flag, but I'm going to show you some tips on how to get strong enough for it and ready to do it. So generally I do an Iron X, so I'll show you that today as well. And yeah, I hope my tips help. As I said, I'm not currently doing the human flag. I haven't practiced that for some years now, so you know, you kind of lose that strength. But I will help you with all the things that I know about how to do it. Okay? So, seeing that there are different grips that you can use for the human flag. Generally, the best grip is cup because it's kinder to your shoulder, so fingers and thumbs together. I'm not very kind to my shoulder and I prefer a twisted grip. It gives you that little bit of extra pull, but as I said, it's not the best for your shoulder, so I prefer a twisted grip. There is normal grip as well, true grip. You decide which one you want to start with and which side. Maybe you're going to do both. That's great. Either left. So, obviously, now if you're starting from the bottom of the pole, or whatever it is that you're human flagging on, some conditioning drills I like to do from the floor include getting into the start position. So my top arm's in place, and then I always go from hip height and then onto the pole. Then you've got that push-pull. You don't want your arms too far apart because then you have no strength. You don't want them too close because then you're probably going to injure your forearm flexor. Okay? So, up and down. Now, when you're in this position, we're going to do some kind of conditioning where it's small movements, but to build the initial lift, okay? So we come out into the side, and you should feel a stretch already. I'm pushing and pulling. The first thing you want to try and do is try and lift your feet off the floor. So I'm not trying to kick out or anything like that. I'm basically pulling and pushing, so I've got that muscle engagement, and I'm just going to flex those feet off the floor, okay? That's your first step from the floor, I would say, without any assistance from my band. So, find the position. You're probably going to be a little higher than you will be when you actually go for the trick to start with. Obviously, the lower you are down the pole, the less you have to get up, okay? But for this conditioning drill, we can be high. So here, turn that, see how we're not facing the pole? We turn out, the chest is open. Push, pull, flex, we're pushing, we're pulling, we're pushing, we're pulling. Okay? Step one, from the floor. If that was okay, the next step would be to now push, pull, little push and pulls, so you can have a small movement and building that muscle up. So go up, and now see that top shoulder, I'm pulling and learning to pull, I'm pushing out so I don't land on the floor, I'm learning to start to pull with that top arm. Pull, see? Pull. These small, tiny things are really, really hard. They take time, unless you're already super strong, then this might be nothing. Okay, but for me, it took a while, okay? So, once we have that push-pull, that was conditioning number 2 from the floor, then maybe we can try to pull a bit and lift an outside knee. We're pulling and we can lift. See if you can hold that. So now we're engaging that muscle at the side, we're pushing, we're pulling, we've got to hold ourselves up and out, and now we're adding a little bit of a crunch to it. Okay? Let's do that again. We push, pull, we're all the way up, and we lift. Okay? So there is different ways to lift, but if you're trying to go for the sideways. Some people go belly up and all the way down. I'll show you that from up the pole. And some people go completely so they're facing out to the side. That's your preference. Maybe you want to train both, I don't know. So, we've pulled, we've lifted out, and now we've lifted one leg. So you can do that. You can then, even the next bit, try and get your legs into a zigzag, a stag position. So we've lifted, and then we can come here like this. See if you can hold that. So that was my next step. So you've lifted, you've got the strength to hold those feet off the floor, you've pulled, so now you can lift it out to the side using that muscle, lat muscle. We've now added a crunch, and then we've added the other leg into the mix, so now we've got both legs higher. See if you can hold that. Okay? Now, when I was learning to lift off the floor, this is the first thing that I did. But then when it gets to the part where the legs are lower, lifted in the zigzag, I became lower down the pole. Because as I said before, if you're high with your arms on the pole, that means you've got to get higher. That's harder work, you know? Do that later when you've built the strength. So, what I would do is I would kick back into my zigzag legs. Don't miss the steps before because you want to build the strength, but we can have a little swoop back to those legs from a lower position. Like so. And hold. Okay? Because then the next bit, when you start to try and lift, if you want to learn to deadlift, which will help the strength for the flag position, you will lower low to lift. So we have that swoop back, we can hold, we can learn to pull and push like we were doing before in that zigzag. We can also take it to the floor, right to the floor. So obviously things to help that are not on the pole are side planks. You know, core conditioning, okay? Now, another way to learn to build some strength in the lift position, because a lot of the work is this area. You know, you need to be strong enough to keep yourself from falling down at this point. So, learning deadlift, you've already mastered that bit where you can lift with no momentum. So you're strong enough to hold it. So, anyway, another thing to help would be to kneel facing whatever it is that you're using to lift, in my case the pole. From there, I will place my hand on whichever arm is at the top, and again from the hip onto the bottom. So I'm nice and low now. From there, I can come into that side plank position. Now, I'm pushing and pulling. This could be enough conditioning for you. That's fine. You could add a leg in. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try, well, we can hold that as step 1 and 2, leg up. You can do belly up or to the side. Then you can try and learn to try and lift that other foot up and bring it over into an Aisha. Obviously, if you've never done an Aisha, let's work on that bit as well, which I'll show you soon. Okay, so in whichever position you choose, either upright, like this, pulling, pushing, tuck and lift. So my chest was facing the sky for that one. Or you can go sideways. It's a little bit more difficult lifting sideways, but it's less painful on my shoulder. So I'd rather use the side muscles, my preference anyway. But as I said, it's a little bit more difficult. Pushing, pulling. And then lift. So, much harder than the first one, where my chest was up. What you don't want to do is jump, okay? It's really tempting to give yourself a little bounce, but you're defeating the object. We're trying to build strength, okay? So, either chest up or chest out. And then when they become easy, go a little bit higher. Move your way up, pull. So push, pull, always engaging. Push and pull it. Lift. And down, okay? Work your way up. That will build your strength for your deadlift, and eventually you'll be stood up so you can deadlift, okay? So there's a few little steps from standing to build those muscles. There's the steps from the floor, so you can actually learn how to use and engage the hips and come into your Ayesha. There's also the use of bands, okay? If you have resistance bands, they are great for this training. So, whether it be that you're learning your deadlift, that you're learning to do an INX, resistance bands. So start with a really hard, firm one, and then when it gets easy, go to a easier one, a lighter resistance band. So you can also use this resistance band on the low down ones where we were kneeling to help you get that lift. So, whichever is your top hand, it's going to be the same leg through the resistance band. You're going to bring that onto just at the knee area. So, imagine being in a side plank, but now the pole is the floor. I'm pushing, I'm pulling, I'm engaging those abs. I'm going to hold that position using the resistance band to help, okay? Do that again. Find the position, holding the leg, pushing, pulling, hold. Okay? So that could be also one way to do it. If you're struggling with the stag kickback, you can use the band. Pull, and we lift. Okay? We can also train, so as you see in the flag position, we can also train the INX position. So coming out, we'll be facing our tummy out. We'll push, pull, engage. Push, pull. Letting that band help us. Alright, so that's quite a few things that you can do from standing on the floor. You've got your kneeling positions, you have your gentle lifts, starting to pull, starting to use the legs to lift yourself higher. And obviously what comes after that is to lift all the way, okay? So, even if you can't lift all the way at the moment, you can still practice those conditioning drills to build that strength in the lower area, okay? Now, another way that I practiced was from up into an inverted position, an Ayesha. From my Ayesha, I learned to lower it and lift it. Lower it enough where I know I can lift it back. I would do that several times until I couldn't do it anymore. So I'll just show you one of them. I'll show you with stag legs and I'll show you with an INX position. Okay, so I'll show you INX first. So an INX is basically where your stomach faces out and your legs are open. What a big mistake is while you're learning this is that you think your legs have to go right out to the side, but really what you're thinking about is more of a pancake position, okay? Where you kind of think that the leg that's lowest is coming towards the bottom of the pole, okay? That's a really big tip. Think the bottom leg is coming towards the bottom of the pole and not to the side, okay? So, you can get into the inverted position however you want. I'm just going to get there by doing a handspring, okay?
So we're in this inverted position, and that needs to be super strong, okay? From there, the bottom leg starts to lower.
Okay? It's not going out, so it's literally coming in, okay? You do that, you hold it as long as you can. Or you do that, and then you lift it back.
Pushing, pulling, and lift it back.
Okay. So go low, this is sideways, remember? Lift it back. You could also go to Iron X and try and come to that side position. So that is controlling it the whole way down. The more you control it down, you're building those muscles, okay? So slow as you can. The other way is the stag position. So we'd go up, we'd stag our legs, keep our chest more upright towards the ceiling, lower and lift.
Lower and pull back.
See how many you can do. See how low you can get. See if you can put it back without falling all the way down. Okay? So when you get really strong at that, you should start getting lower and lower and lower. And then again, you can take that all the way down, so you'll be in that stag position at the end.
Push, pull, push, pull.
Okay, so you can see they both work the same on the negative training. So either stag lifts, lowers. Iron X, or as low as you can get to there, lift, lowers. Yeah? If you want to take it all the way to the bottom with control, that's brilliant. Be chest up or chest out. I prefer chest up for this one.
So we need to be able to do this, and then we're pulling, we're pushing, we're pulling, we're pushing, we're pulling.
So only attempt this if you are comfortable with Aisha, at least. You can do a pencil, or straight edge, or whatever you want to call it. So there's that position, one leg. You've also got then both legs straight but open. So arching the back. So these are a little harder now. And then once you've mastered all the way to the where you need to go, then you can try and do the legs together. Remember, this is from up the pole and not from the floor.
Pencil, open.
As I said, I've not trained this for a very, very, very long time. So, legs open, trying to tense those abs, lower as slow as you can to hit that middle spot. Very difficult. That's the one leg flag. So if you can hold that one leg in the centre, then you start just trying to get the other leg straight as well. This is after all those other conditioning drills, because if you think the other ones, you're working but you're smaller, so the further away you are, the harder it is, you know? So when the legs are straight, that's why it's so hard. Okay, so there are some of my conditioning drills that I do on the pole to be able to deadlift or iron X and head towards the flag position. Also, abs, lots of abs. Even lots of push exercises. So like from here, this kind of thing. Strengthen up those arms. You can lift in your pencil from the floor and then same hand, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Do strength drills like that, both legs up, open, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing. You know, come down as slow as you can. Yeah, so I hope that helps. I'm sorry if it wasn't as strong as I normally am, but I did do a really hard session conditioning my deadlift yesterday, so my arms are not the strongest today, but I really hope that those are some good tips for you. If you're using this tutorial, please let me know how your progress is doing. Even tag me in your videos to show me your journey. So that'll be at Nick's Fitness Academy. I'd love to see your journey, and I really hope that this made sense. Have a lovely day. Good luck being strong. Bye.